Do you want to stop people leaving your Discord server? Well, this video is the one for you. I've been asked a lot recently to make a video about how to stop people leaving your Discord server. So in today's video, I've got 5 handy tips from me, a server owner with 57,000 members, an ex-admin on a server with 250,000 members, followed by some tips from some other server owners which have hundreds of thousands of members on their servers, and some of my admins who work on my server too. So stay tuned for that. However, before we get into the video, there's a couple of things that you guys need to do. The first thing that you guys need to do is you're going to go and hit that subscribe button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel because only about 50% of you are subscribed. It means a lot to creators and it's completely free. It doesn't cost you a single penny but shows your support. It would really mean a lot if you could do this, and also check that you're still subscribed because YouTube has been unsubscribing some random people recently according to my comment section and also a couple of friends. So make sure to go check that out. Also, let's see if we can get this video to 500 likes within the first 48 hours of the upload, and also go comment some constructive criticism on this video so I can improve for my future videos down the line. And also guys, remember to join both my Discord servers. The links are on screen now. Anyways guys, let's get straight into today's video. Right guys, so the first tip which I have for you guys is to keep it fresh. And what you might not know about this is the fact that people like change. People are interested in change. So if you keep your server fresh by maybe changing the server icon occasionally, or maybe changing the layout of the channels or the colors of the roles and things like that, it will keep people interested and won't make people bored of the server. If you make people bored of the server, then you've been defeated because people will leave because they're bored and it's taking up a server slot which they could join another server with. So if you keep it fresh, maybe change the role names or the role colors, maybe make it nice and aesthetically pleasing, then you can potentially keep more of those people in your Discord server because people won't leave because they won't get bored. And that is really the first tip which I have for you guys, is change things up and keep it fresh. Anyways, let's go over to the next tip. Right guys, so the next tip which I have for you is by keeping the server active. An inactive server is a server which no one wants to be in. The reason why is because it doesn't contribute to anything. If the server isn't contributing towards anything, why would they want to be in it? If they're not able to talk to people or even communicate with people there, why would they want to stay in your server? So that's the thing you have to think about. So take a second to think, what makes your server stand out? What makes it active? What will get people to join your server and stay active in it? Or an active chat, as you can see on the background of something for everyone here. What you will see is that people will stay in the server for longer. Your member count will go up, it won't go down, people won't leave. Yes, you will get some people leaving, but that is natural for all servers. You may get a couple of people, but it will be reduced overall. You won't get as many people leaving if your server stays active. And to make your server active, I did a whole video on about how to make your server active or how to revive your inactive or dead Discord server. So check those videos out. The long and short story of that is basically hold things which attract people, so maybe giveaways or events, or change things as I just said, because it will get people to the server and it will get them active. So make sure to go check out those 2 videos about how to keep it active if you want to go more in depth in that tip. However, keeping it active will stop people leaving. Anyways guys, let's go over to the third tip of today's video. Right guys, so the next tip I have for you is having a balance between familiarity and novice. And for the people that don't know what novice is, it basically means new things. So I mentioned earlier by getting new things to the server, keeping it fresh. However, you have to get the right balance. If you don't get the right balance, then people will leave, because the way that the human race works is that we are very intrigued by new things, almost so that we always want to go towards it. But if it's too new, if it's too unfamiliar, we will stay away from it. We will back away. We want that right balance between familiarity and new things. And if you can get that right, if you can master that, you will keep people in your Discord server. And that is a fact. And I will tell you that now. If you get that balance right, you will keep people in your server because you're giving them that new stuff, but you're keeping the same amount or a similar amount of old things, which they're used to, they like, but it still keeps people there. It's not necessarily that there's something wrong with your server. It's not necessarily that your server is bad. It's the fact that if you don't have new stuff and you're always sticking to your old stuff, then people will leave. But if you change completely and you go to your new stuff, then people will leave too. So that's why you've got to get the right balance between new and old on your server. And that will keep people in the server and it will stop people leaving. So this is kind of a joint tip to the first tip, but it will definitely help you on your Discord server. So remember that and make sure to get that right balance. Right guys, so the next tip which I have for you is by doing events often. And this will be the first part of this tip. Doing events often will keep people on the server because it will get them active. And I explained this in my event and activity video before. However, if you do events often, it brings new things to the server. It brings something exciting or a challenge or something new for them to do. If you're just there and, all they can do is talk, why would you want to be there? You can be anywhere and talk. You can talk to anybody on any server. So why make it your server? And that is why you do events, because you get people on your server. You get people to stay because it's familiar, it's interesting, it's new at the same time. So if you do events, my suggestions are have like an art contest. As you can see in the background here where Kyle announced a summer art contest. Or maybe even do something about debates. Maybe you're interested in debates and stuff like that. Or even do something regards to an art competition where people can join and play together. Or you can do something like karaoke, or do something like a team challenge. It gets people active onto your server, and I explain that in my activity video, so make sure to go check that out too. But what I'm trying to say here, if you haven't already cottoned on to the fact, is that by doing events, we'll get people interactive. And if you get people interactive, people will stay because you've got an inner core community. People will see that and people will want to stay in your Discord because it is a good Discord server. So stay, get events going, and that will help you. And the second point I have on this tip is the fact that you have to be interactive with your community. As a staff team, as an owner, you have to be. But I have to admit, I have not been as active as I have been previously on Something for Everyone in the last couple of months. However, I still do keep an eye on chat. So for example, if I was to go hey in chat, I would expect some replies in chat now. As you can see, someone called Billy Gates has just replied to me. And a couple of the people that are lurking might come and talk as well in a minute or so. If you get people active, if you interact with your community, then you can definitely keep an inner core, which would definitely help keep people stay in your server. And the reason why for this is that people want an inner core. People want to see that there's activity, people always talking on the server. So if you keep that inner core, if you keep people there and you're interacting, it can definitely help keep people in the server. And then people know that the server owner is active. People know the staff team are active, so people want to be there. Alongside this, if you're interactive, ask for feedback. Ask for suggestions. It's so useful to know what your community wants. If your community wants stuff in suggestions channel and they vote for it, then do it. The community is always right for the most part because they are the ones which are the lifeblood of your server. So if you get good suggestions, ask for feedback, make it constructive, and don't be offended if they do say something which you may not like. If you do that, you're on set to stop people leaving your server, and you're on set to have a successful Discord server generally. Anyways guys, I'll go over to the final tip from me before some tips from some server owners too. Right guys, so the final tip from me is all about pings. Something which a lot of people do not like, and I can tell you that now as a fact that people do not like pings. It is something which people get very annoyed about, and I don't understand why. It's literally just a red bubble. You're not a bull. You shouldn't be angry when you see red, but it doesn't matter. Aside from that, pings. If you overping your server, people will leave. Is a fact of life, and I tell you that now. If I go to my join leave log on Customs Magical World, so if you go here, you can see around this time I pinged, and that is why I had a bigger influx of people leaving the server. When you ping on your server, people will tend to leave because they don't like it. So what you can do is limit yourself to X amount of pings per week. And yes, I do ping on my server here on Customs Magical World quite a lot. And that's because it's a server all about my channel and I basically want to put out announcements. However, on a community server, make role pings, stuff like that. People where they can opt into getting pings or not for a certain channel or a role. So what you're doing is you're limiting yourself to certain pings, how many times a week, to prevent people leaving. It's a very smart thing to do, and it's something which a lot of people don't. But if you do overping, you will get people leaving your server. So the less you ping, the less people will leave. And that is how you can stop people leaving your Discord server in a very major way. Stop pinging, stop over pinging, in fact, and that will help you stop people leaving your server. I hope my tips helped you, but I've got some tips from some server owners and my admins right after this. So let's go over to them, and I'll go to the first server owner.
So I'll give you 3 top tips on how to stop people from leaving your Discord server. First tip is giveaways. Everyone loves giveaways. They love to enter them. They always want to have a chance of winning. So if you do giveaways for your server, someone can't really leave if they entered the giveaway, because if they left, they wouldn't be able to participate in it anymore. For that encourages people to stay in the server. The second tip is for an active chat. This is good because it feels like the member, they have someone to talk to. They've got like a community to speak to, and it isn't just an empty server, and that would encourage them to stay in the server. And the third and final tip is some level perks. I know that lots of servers use different leveling bots like Me6, Arcane, but the thing is, if you put down some like level rolls or perks for leveling up, that will encourage people to be active in the server. And that means they'll be active in the server in general, and then they would probably stay in the server as well. This is CatClaws118. I hope these tips help you.
Yeah, so I'd say that the most important tip is probably community interaction. You have to bring something new to the table. There are thousands of Discord servers that do the same thing. So what would make yours stand out? Get a proper events team up and running so that they can pump out interesting events. You also have to listen to your community. Be at the forefront of change and be transparent with them. If they see that you care, they'll care too. And as a result, they'll probably stay in the server knowing that they can shape the change that they want.
My best tip on how to prevent people leaving your Discord server is to have a good moderation team that helps new members fit into the server.
Right guys, so I hope those tips helped you from me and the server owners and admins today, and I hope it will help you to get people to stop leaving your Discord server. Now, I do want to make a note that people will leave your server no matter what. It's not going to stop everyone leaving, but it should reduce it if you do follow these tips. So you have to remember that don't get offended by it, it's just what happens. We get loads of leaves and something for everyone. If I go down to here on the join leave log, you can see we get a mixture of leaves and joins. The red arrows are leaves, the green arrows are joins. So you can see that we're generally going up, but the most part we are kind of losing and gaining members at the same time. So with that, what I want to say is don't be offended, but just be cautious. Anyways guys, remember to subscribe to the channel, go hit that like button, hit the notification bell, comment some feedback, join my servers, and follow me on Twitter. Anyways guys, I will see you on Tuesday for the next video. Have an awesome day and the rest of your weekend if you're watching this on Sunday. Peace out.